Please mind the gap. தயவு செய்து தலைமை இடைவெளியை கவனத்தில் கொள்ளுங்கள். With one video, I connected with 9 million people.
Laksha, I heard that you can speak fluent Mandarin.
老师真的是谢谢你们。
The audacity of her making fun of our accent while sounding like us leh.
In a world that moves too fast, this is a space to pause and listen to stories and perspectives that often go unheard. Hi, I'm Shams, your host for this podcast where we bring together diverse voices to build our communities. So stop scrolling and start listening. Today we have two friends with us and probably Singapore's best yappers. Communicators in the neighbourhood. We have Laksha, who is a grassroots legend who has been bringing together communities for over 25 years. She may be Indian, but she can speak Mandarin better than you and I, for sure. And we have our TikTok voice coach, who has changed how we think about speaking. She teaches us the right way to say difficult words and also taught many Singaporeans to feel less paiseh about speaking Singlish. Welcome, Cait and Laksha.
Thank you. Also, I'm not a voice coach. I do not coach. Everybody asking me to coach. Please
But
don't tell me what I
you
coach.
are our voice coach. You are it's like how you're everyone's mother, you know?
Yes.
You're everyone's voice coach.
Yeah.
Do coach us.
Auntie, not mother.
Yeah.
Would you say you're an extrovert or an introvert?
I'm an ambivert.
Okay, but closer to?
Introvert. Nobody believes me.
Really?
No, I save up all my energy for the interaction that I want to have, and then I go back and pass out.
So after this podcast, you go back and sleep again?
Yes, correct. Yeah. Go back to
drain
sleep
already.
again, yeah.
Laksha?
I used to be very introvert when I was very young, but I think slow and steadily when I joined grassroots and community work, I tend to open up. So it is more natural extrovert, meeting with people and also exchange ideas. So I feel joy in speaking to people.
She brought up a really good point. I feel like ambiverts, right, are people that are only extroverted amongst people they want to be around, right? Do you know what I mean? So
You get the
it's
energy.
important to
Yeah.
find your tribe, but how do you find your tribe if you don't go out there and meet people, right? So
Yeah.
it's a little bit of like a double-edged sword for people like us. Are you extroverted or introverted?
I feel like I'm like the opposite of you.
I
I
see.
was way extroverted when I was younger, and then I grew into this
Hermit.
ish. But I do feel like we do need to be more extroverted for career opportunities.
Well, no, I don't actually agree.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
What do you mean?
I think you can be yourself. You know, you set your boundaries. You know what you have to do. You know what you want to do, and you're building upon that. You know, you're not out there trying to be rude to people to get what you want. It's just
Yeah, of course, yeah.
manners is the baseline for anything.
But there are a
right?
lot of people who hide behind the fact that they are introverts. Oh, I can't do this because I'm introvert. I can't do that because I'm introvert. But that's not true.
But like if that's their boundaries, like I also feel like it's about finding your tribe, right? Whether in person or on social media.
But I think it's good to be natural.
Yeah.
So as long as you are very natural, very comfortable with what you're doing, slow and steadily you will change. So let nature take its course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the introverts out there, you have a chance to be extroverted soon.
Yeah.
In, I don't know, a couple of years.
No lah, I think like when you find your tribe, you will want to talk to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, because you have something in common. Maybe it's collecting stamps. I don't know what do people collect these days.
Oh, Pokemon cards.
Yeah, Pokemon cards, right? And a lot of people are introverted until they arrive at a
Until they
topic they
find
want to
their-
talk about.
Yeah,
their
true.
people.
Right? But it is important to get out there and to find those people.
You need the energy.
You just need to have a common spot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Laksha, you mentioned you were a GRL, a grassroots leader, like for 25 years. Can you briefly tell us what you do?
I learned a lot from the different grassroots leaders, and because there are so many activities, subsequently what I really enjoy is I was being invited as a MC for a lot of events.
To speak Mandarin?
I mean, at the earlier start of her grassroots, normally I would take on the Mandarin portion and my partner would take on the English portion.
And your partner is usually the Chinese.
Yes.
Oh my God. that's
Okay,
so,
so
funny.
that
Wow.
gave me the
so relatable.
Yeah, so that really gave me the opportunity also to brush up my Mandarin and try to speak to a lot of people in front of you. Sometimes you have that phobia, especially you're using a different language. But nevertheless, I think the grassroots really gave me a lot of opportunity to take on something which I would not have tried out. So like being an MC or speaking to residents or even participate at helping people for a small talk. So all these are the little bit of opportunity that is given. Apart from my profession, when I started off, I was an accountant. So I'm able to use my ability to help people. So that gave me a sense of satisfaction. So that's where actually I stay on in grassroots till now, because I really enjoy meeting with people, interacting with them, and having the ability to speak to different age group. I think that is something which you will not be able to find today, because nowadays your neighbours will open the door and close the door. And because they're so busy with their work, you don't have the opportunity to have a different spectrum of people, different races, especially different age group. So that creates the opportunity to interact with people. So don't you think so? Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, definitely. Like, as you were talking, I was just thinking about how, like, I used to go downstairs to my hello auntie and play.
So
or
cute.
I just hang out. Like,
Go to her house,
Yeah. We always see her downstairs. Everything you were saying, right? You seem to enjoy it so much,
It
because
comes
you
naturally
have a
to her.
purpose,
Yeah.
like this. The purpose is to like gather people. The purpose is to have everybody get together, and like we are. I feel, maybe just me, but like losing a bit of the kampong spirit,
Yes, true.
right?
Yeah.
And
To
why is that
gentrification.
important?
Huh?
Why is that important?
Well, I don't know. I guess in today's context, we are now separated a lot more. We connect differently. As a person on social media, I'm trying to put the social back in social media. So a lot of my content aims to like ask people questions and have them interact with each other respectfully. It's always like the baseline.
It's like you're building your own small community.
Yes, it's like an ecosystem for maybe introverts or people who don't get to see the other side of the world, while also like representing Singapore in a way that I feel it needs to be represented, right? Sorry, you were saying.
No, I was just wondering. You're definitely not a stranger to many people online. I mean, for me, I watch your content a lot. But for those who don't know what you do, what do you do?
Okay, in general, I'm an actor, host, voiceover artist, and content creator. Some people when they're like, you look very familiar. Are you the then I just go, the actor, host, voiceover artist, and content.
Then they're like,
it's become my brand,
yeah.
I just 4 things. Yeah, so I create content about accents, language, and etymology of words, because in Singapore we're such a melting pot of our specific ethnicities that makes us unique from the rest of the world. But also people don't really know where Singapore is. And I feel like it's up to us to explain that. So I create content that helps Singaporeans internationally and locally to understand better how to form that narrative when someone asks them the question. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I am bridging the gap, kampong to kampong internationally. That's what I'm trying to do. Seems like a super big task, and who the hell am I to do this? But like,
How did that happen for you? Like one day you just...
I travel a lot for work. And
Okay.
so whenever I meet people, they always like, they look at me and they're like, she's clearly Asian. Why does she sound like this? Then they'll ask the question, right? All these people around the world will ask me, why do you speak English so good? And then I'll be like, actually, it's why do you speak English so well?
Then they're like,
Don't scold me,
this girl.
But they won't because
Okay.
they laugh. They're like, oh wow, better than us, right? I'm like, actually yes, right? Because I'm really proud of the fact that I'm able to communicate with a lot of the world. That opens up a lot of questions, because now they know they can understand me if they ask questions about where I'm from. So again, back to the whole community thing, it's like human race, one race,
That's right.
right? If they know they can understand me, they will start asking questions.
Yes.
Same in Singapore,
Yep.
right? So they'll ask questions about, where is Singapore? Is it in China? Some people know is it in Malaysia, right? They will ask a lot of these questions. And when I was younger, traveling for work, I didn't know how to answer them. I'd just be like, remember history class, geography class in Singapore? Then you're like, we are on the equator.
Oh yes.
And then I realized if I don't know, then why would they know that we're not in China? And if a Singaporean doesn't explain it, who's going to explain us? So it's through like traveling around the world that I realize if I don't have the answer, if I don't get interested in the answer, in finding the answer, because I'm somehow taking for granted everything that we have here, disregarding our history and why we speak English as a first language, then nobody will ever understand.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why I started the social media channel.
What's your most viral content that you have done?
MRT or...
Oh, okay. I love that one.
If y'all don't know, this is what it sounds like. You might like this because you speak so many languages.
Okay, go. So fun.
Please mind the gap. 請小心空隙. Berhati-hati di ruang platform. Tayo sede, talo medede villier, gavandatil golengol.
You sound so real.
Oh yeah, it's like the MRT
Are you the voice over?
No, that's what everybody asked me. But the thing is, I wanted to use that as like a way. You know, honestly, when I did that thing, right, I was like, actually, I should just stop at the Malay one, because the Tamil one very hard. But then I realized I'd be ostracizing a whole like one of our four main races in Singapore. So I spent about a month learning it. Then I asked everybody.
You asked your friends to help.
Yeah, so it's like, you know how we like. When you are not afraid to try, people really appreciate it, right?
True. It's the effort that counts.
Exactly. And it's funny because like whenever I travel for work, I always learn a few words or random phrases that will never come into conversation on. At some point in my life, I learned a Norwegian word, which I will never ever say. And it is stinging jellyfish. And it is a brennmanet. Like, why would you ever? But every time I meet
so
someone...
random.
Absolutely, right. You think it's like, oh my God, so random. Why the hell do you learn it? It somehow came in handy when I was sitting next to, randomly, a Norwegian person while I was solo traveling in Europe. And when they said they were Norwegian, I was like, hey, can I say a word that I learned that you might probably think I'm crazy or like random, you know,
Then you
for
just
saying this?
say.
And I just said, then they're like, yeah, what is the word? I said, brennmanet. And they laughed so hard and then finally told me the whole like life story. And now I know another slice of life somewhere around the world, their kampong story, because
Like
I
where it
knew
came
one
from.
stupid
Yeah.
word.
Yeah, I think words is very powerful.
Right?
Just a single word, you will be able to get the history and the culture.
Yes, exactly. And so when I created the MRT video, linking it back to the MRT video, I thought it would be so nice if I could do all four. With one video, I connected with 9 million people. That means more than Singapore population. To me, social media is crazy because of the amount of reach and the amount of people's lives that you can affect. Positively if you do the right thing. For me, I'm going to create better content. I'm going to create content that connects, that puts the social back into social media. And so that's been my mission.
Oh,
and
that's a lot
vision
of
ever
work.
since. Yes, super hard work, man. I don't think I have a life right now.
Given your online presence, right, how do you think you're building your own community?
Definitely an online community because I'm also like, I really need a lot of space apart from people. The parasocial
The
relationships.
introvert in you.
Yes, it really is. Also, my job is very extroverted. I speak for a living, you know. So after every event, I get very exhausted.
Oh man.
Like it's an exhaustion that you can physically feel. Like my brain just stops working. But to continue the content, I can do it from home with no one around. You know, I'm refueling and I'm doing it at my own pace, at my own time, which is also why I feel like social media can be used for good.
I remember you told me you tried to reply to every comment.
Oh yes, I try to reply to the commenters. I try. You know, try being the operative word because you cannot actually like respond to every single person at some point. Everyone's important, right? But because I have the comfort of being at home, I can respond to people without feeling like I'm super burned out.
Laksha, I heard that you can speak fluent Mandarin.
Oh my God, we heard just now,
but like-
the way she went and I was like, Chinese, right?
Yeah, Chinese.
Oh, well, I'm still learning, okay. But I've studied Mandarin when I was 5 years old, formerly in school. And it all started because my parents, they have a flair for languages. They love languages. They like to learn. So both of my parents, they are Indian. My father, when he communicate with his, let's say, customers, or even when he go to the market, he will pick up Cantonese. So my mother, she liked to interact with my neighbours. She will pick up Mandarin, Tamil, Malay, etc. So both my parents decided that all our siblings, we studied Mandarin as a second language. So that's where it started. We studied formally in school. I should also give the credit to my dear teachers, if my teachers are still
Shout out,
listening.
teachers.
All right, thank you. 老师真的是谢谢你们，我可以讲这个流利的华语，都是你们的指导。So I must really say that all this I should thank my teachers, my friends, and also people around me. They really have given me that inspiration, all our siblings, to learn Mandarin. So those days is very much difficult. For myself, if I just give an example, in a class, I will be the only Indian, and it is very daunting. We don't speak Mandarin at home. And those days is that we have to get hard copy newspaper or to watch TV. So I remember we like to watch 无所南洋, and we watch all the series. And we've completed 26 series. The whole family would sit down, including my parents, all my siblings. We will be watching 无所南洋. So it really gives the inspiration, especially the content of the story. As what you said, those days the kampung spirit was very much there. You open the door, you can see all your neighbours. I used to play with my neighbours, different races, and we exchange different languages. So that's where we pick up the languages.
When she started speaking Mandarin, I was like, oh my gosh. Han 老师, I'm sorry, 我是懒惰虫, and I was studying properly. Last time my Chinese teacher always called me 懒惰虫 because I just could not. Like, I just cannot. I can speak it, like I can mimic it, but I cannot write. This is super admirable, but I also feel like, right, back then, right, the kampong spirit was so much more tight-knit that you just learn all these Hokkien, Teochew, everyone's language, wherever their ancestors are from,
you
learn the
and pick
word.
up.
And I also think that that's how Singlish as
Came
a
about.
language developed.
Even in some of our languages, right, we think it's, let's say, Cantonese, but it's actually not Cantonese.
No.
So, for example, right,
Like
I'm not sure if you're...
Pasat.
Yes, that's
Pasat is like, we think it's Hokkien,
But it's not. It's
Malay.
It's Malay, it's Pasat.
Ah,
Yeah.
but it's so cool.
There's one word that I learned growing up, right, in Cantonese. It's called, it's bread, but my mum always say loti.
Loti.
But it's not. The actual word is 面包, 面包. Yeah. But then the loti came from the word roti.
Roti.
Yeah. So it's like, oh my god.
Actually,
It's
roti
so-
is also an Indian word.
Yes, roti is an Indian word. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's why I'm also so super curious about etymology, right?
Yeah.
Because whenever someone's like, hey, it's supposed to be like this, hey, it's supposed, bro, like you have to understand everybody's influence around them.
Exactly,
Like, you know,
yeah.
why does this Indian lady speak Chinese better than these two Chinese people?
No, I'm still learning. I'm still learning from both
Yeah,
of
you see, the problem is I've stopped learning since after 10 years of Chinese.
Maybe we need to sign up for a class. Apparently she teaches Mandarin now.
跟你学啊.
Okay.
老师?
Okay, where it started is that as a GRL in 2022, I think that period most of us were working at home. And what I noticed is that a lot of us, especially different races neighbours, if they open the door, they just smile, but they do not know how to break the ice. So that gave me an idea, why not I craft a very basic conversation Mandarin. So, okay, let's say if let's say you want to break your ice with your neighbours, 你们大家早上好，你吃饱了没有呢?
Hey, you know what? No, I
Yeah.
feel like everybody can more or less speak
Yeah.
Chinese, right? But we should learn Malay and Tamil. You know,
It's
like,
true, it's true.
You know how many Malay words we all know, right?
Yeah.
I only know Taiva Seidu from the MRT announcement. I'm so embarrassed, you know. Like, we don't have, and also I learned Gundu. It's also a Tamil word, right?
Yes,
Oh,
correct.
really? Gundu?
Yeah.
But Gundu is also a Malay word. Yes, but we know the Malay version of it, which is like Gundu, Gundu.
Yeah.
Then the Hokkien people say Gun. But
Yeah.
that doesn't exist, right?
Right. Yeah.
You may use a mix of language, as what you
Yeah,
say in
yes,
Singapore,
Singlish.
right? That's the beauty of our language. We are able to use different spices of our languages. So, for me, I love to eat something hot and spicy.
Yes.
So the different spices of our languages that make us very unique and rich. We are very blessed to have this melting pot of languages in Singapore. I think we should be very proud of. Kudos to you. You are bringing the language overboard. I mean, that will really inspire Singaporean overseas, to have this founding memory of Singapore and perhaps come back to Singapore again.
And they have
Actually,
their life
apart
there.
from language, what I find that connect us is food.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yes.
food is very,
That's the
very
first thing we
important.
ask anyone. Have you
Exactly.
eaten?
Exactly.
Hey, actually, on that topic, right, can I share something? Because you know I have this like Cai fan business that you cannot eat. Later I share with you. It's a merchandise business, okay? It's called pointy rice because you point at the rice, right? One thing I noticed while I was doing my research about like the history of this food, right, is that how come the Chinese style, Cai fan is usually associated with Chinese as a race, right? The Chinese ethnicity in Singapore. How come we got curry chicken? Think about this now. Where the spice come from, right? It's because it's so unique to us that we suddenly Chinese store got curry chicken because we use the Malay and the Indian
Is there
spices.
no Chinese curry?
There's no
such thing.
No such thing. When you go to China, it's like, to me, a Southeast Asian person, I like go to China and I'm just like, why is it like this one? Like, Qing Cao, then
there's no curry option.
There's no curry option, right? Then, yeah, when I first went there for work, I was like, okay, so this is like the Sichuan spice. Then the spice is like ma. And then this is the no spice. Belacan with my sambal, you know, like I should bring sambal, you know. There is no such thing.
My dad always tells me like, eat the Chinese curry or the Indian curry. Like, I always thought that the Cai Fan one is the Chinese curry.
I get super nerdy about this, but like, I just think it's so fantastic that the Chinese stall in Singapore has a chicken curry.
I think nowadays Indian store they do sell Sichuan fried rice and whatnot.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about like what you said. Mixing and the melting pot of our unique mix of heritages and like ethnicities coming together in Singapore, creating our Singaporean identity, which is also something I'm super fascinated about. The other thing that, popped to mind when you were talking about how we connect with our languages is the fact that Lee Kuan Yew was so forward-thinking in that he made us learn one unifying language, our lingua franca, which is English, just so we can mitigate these
language
conversations
barriers.
And like learning other people's language becomes easier because we all say hi, and then can you speak, right?
Yeah.
Or can you teach me something? Like without that one lingua franca, we won't be able to communicate with each other. We will always have that barrier of language, of communication. We can't actually learn more. Because how do we ask? I feel like there's so many layers to every single person, right? We're not all just Chinese or just Indian or just Malay, right? You could be mixed with something else and then that would be...
And more so these days.
Yeah, but like if you never open up the conversation by talking to your neighbours or, saying hi in the elevator, then you'll never find out and you'll never learn how to tackle the tough questions so that you can learn to be more empathetic or even more diverse in the way you think.
I think we had a call earlier with you and you talk about the Singaporean representation, right, online. And that's very important for us Singaporeans. I know what's an American, but when you ask an American what's a Singaporean, that's harder. It's for them.
It's very hard for people to know everything about everything, let alone this random tiny red dot in Southeast Asia, close to the equator, one of 3 independent city-states in the world. And then they look online and they see all the Chinese people, they're like, oh yeah, China. Because their reference is Asia, and any Asia that looks Chinese is China, right? But if you look at the history of how that became that, you will realize that we are all pretty much the same. If you think about it, and how I describe Singaporean Chinese to an American is, y'all got American Italian, right? Your ancestors from Italy, correct? My ancestors from China, but her ancestors from somewhere else. But we are all Singaporean the same way you are all American.
Right.
Your nationality versus your ethnicity. Your ethnicity is how you are diverse. Your nationality is how you are the same. If we are open to learning about new things, not being disparaging of questions, because people don't know who we are as Singaporeans, but in order for them to know, we need to represent.
Yeah.
All of that goes back to how we need to represent ourselves.
And what you're doing with your content.
Exactly.
Laksha, you brought up just now how, for example, when you have breakfast, the important part of breakfast for you is not so much the food, but the fact that you go down to your kopitiam or whatever, and then you start saying hello and good morning to your neighbours. Are people surprised when you speak Mandarin?
I mean, initially, those people who do not know me, if I go down to the market and I ask them, how much is this? They will be very surprised. 你会讲华语啊? Then they say, 你可以教我英文吗? So 当然是可以啊. So when I go to the market to buy, vegetables or fruits, they will go extra mile to share with me this fruits, how to choose this fruit. Is it right?
In Chinese?
They will share with me in Chinese, and
What is
that
right in
will
Chinese? I
help
also don't know.
to break their eyes. So now they don't have a second thought. They will just speak to me in Mandarin. So, and then I'll just go further down to the market, to an Indian store. There is one Indian boy who is there. He asked me, can you teach me a word or two in Mandarin? I say, why not?
So cute.
Because they want to interact with the customer, and sometimes the elderly customer, they do not know how to speak English. So they want me to teach them a word or two in Mandarin so they connect to the customer. And even those people, honestly, I do not know their name, but it seems like just walking down the market, you are making friends along the way.
I love it when she said, like, I don't even know the names. Then it reminded me, I know them as hello auntie or the fruit store auntie at the corner.
Yeah,
That's very endearing.
I can relate to what she said, because sometimes when we are in the lift, different floors, you have different neighbours coming in. I remember there was one incident, elderly Malay lady, selamat pagi, awak mau pergi mana? Just a little conversation with them. They can share with you, do you know that my grandchildren is coming to my house? I'm going to the market to buy this. Do you know where can I get this? So they try to have this small talk with you.
You know, little information.
A bit of everything. So when you just travel down the lift, it's not just the quiet moment of traveling from top to down, but along the way, you are building culture, getting the connection with different neighbours and whatnot. I think that is something I really enjoy.
It's quite nice, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
So-
the next time you see them, you'll be like, oh, how's your nephew? Or how's your grandchild?
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, do you think your neighbours treat you differently because you can speak different languages?
I don't say they treat me differently, but I think it is they're able to break the ice. So I have a neighbour who are staying by themselves because their children, they are married and they have shifted out. So they have this small talk with you.
And because you can speak so many languages,
and
it helps.
they did share that 你可以讲华语，我可以很轻松地跟你沟通。
Oh, wow.
So they are able to converse with me. So they say that 我根本不会讲英语。So 你会讲华语，我可以跟你沟通。So always they feel very lonely. So they want to connect with someone. So at least you speak to them. Anyone, all right, if you speak to them in their own mother tongue, I think it's much easier to connect. Yeah, I think that is very, very important.
I actually want to learn Bahasa Melayu. I went to KL recently. I realized I couldn't understand a lot. And it's our national language. It didn't really hinder me, but like I realized how much Singapore is geared towards the English language.
I mean, with now in this era, most of us know how to speak English.
Yeah.
So most of us are able to interact very easily. And I think in this era, even most family are speaking English as well. So that's where languages, our own mother tongue, it's very important to inculcate more the emphasis of our mother tongue.
Lots of things pop into my mind while she's speaking because I'm inspired, and it reminds me to also check back in with my own mother's heritage, which is Teochew. Every year on my mother's birthday, we will take her to a Teochew restaurant. And let me tell you what, it does not taste like the Singapore I think I know. What I'm saying is like Teochew food specifically is so foreign to me. Even though one generation above me, my mother, she loves that. She feels like home when she eats that. But then when I look at it, I'm like, why you got this animal's ears inside jelly one? Even one generation ago, I'm losing my roots.
Yeah.
I don't think of that food as my heritage food. The same way when I lose my ability to speak Chinese, I lose my ability to speak dialect. I water down everything that I am as a human being with a rich ancestry from certain parts of China, possibly, by speaking English only.
I want to share with you guys a video that I found on Reddit, my best friend. So for the listeners, I'm going to briefly explain the video. So there's this Singaporean girl who was interviewed by, I think it's an American, overseas, and he asked her, where are you from and what's the best thing about your country?
No, I know that video.
Singapore, there's nothing great about our country. And she added on that she hated how we speak. So just to give everyone a refresher maybe.
A refresher.
Let me just show you the video, guys.
That country.
The people, like, there's, like,
how the way they talk. And stuff.
Give a message for people that haven't been there.
If you go there for like a holiday, it's fine. But like if you grew up living there, don't do that.
I'm sorry. The audacity of her making fun of our accent while sounding like us leh.
No, okay, exactly. So that's what I want to bring up. But before we break down what she just said, right? How do we define Singlish? Like maybe 老师 expert can.
Sorry, I'm angry now. You give me 5 minutes again. I'm sorry, but the audacity of this girl, because like you sound more Singlish than you think.
Yeah, exactly.
What is wrong with that? And the fact that these Amor understand you still means what? He can understand Singlish because what? It's understandable, right? So why are you embarrassed?
Just don't grow up in Singapore.
What do you mean?
Yeah, and also after watching this, right, I realized
You're like
how
auntie on her, you know.
damn
Like,
angry.
hey,
I realized. When I was watching this, right, I was thinking about what she said about Singaporeans, like how she's so ashamed about how we sound. And
Yeah.
I think about Singlish as a, what do I say, language. I don't know, what do we term this?
yeah, I think it is a special language. I always call it our secret language. You can call it that.
How do we define? Is it just the accent or is it a sentence structure? Like what is Singlish?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, give me a
Woke up and chose violence, this girl. Okay, so what I think Singlish is the unique sound that we developed as a nation. And we learn each other's languages. We try and assimilate. We say it wrong because we only know from our frame of reference what it might sound like to us from our own language. And then we mix up the word. We say it back to them and they are like, we accept because we understood.
Yeah.
So now we all have this mixture of you say one word, I ask what is it, and then I say it back wrong, but they accept because we are one people, one nation, one Singapore. Okay, so that's how I think Singlish developed.
But why do some of us feel ashamed?
Right? So I feel like through social media and being able to get a lot of comments in a very short amount of time from a wide range of people, what I'm learning from the commenters I interact with is that there is a huge amount of Singaporeans that actually aren't unproud of our Singlish. But there are also an equal amount of Singaporeans who are. I don't know from what background demographic, whether they've travelled and lived elsewhere and came back or not. But as a person that has done all of that, I love Singlish. Because when you walk in the streets in a foreign country, let's say some place where there's a lot of Caucasians, okay? And then you hear the accent, you're like, kaki lang.
But you know, there are also two groups of people who might react differently. So for me, I react the same way. When I hear a Singaporean accent overseas, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
you know?
although Singlish, Manglish are a bit confused sometimes.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like,
I can't tell.
Singaporean, then they're like, Malaysian.
Oh yeah. But still
Same.
same. Yeah, still
we
same.
just,
yeah. When we're
Literally
overseas,
the
same.
interaction. Yeah. Same.
Yeah, but there are also people like, so recently, I think half of Singaporeans were in Japan, right, for holiday last year or something. Wow, everyone was there. So then I saw some IG reel or TikTok, someone say like, oh, whenever you hear this accent, wow, damn sian, my holiday is ruined. Like there are people who feel this way, you know?
Surely, but there's a lot of people who feel a certain way about certain things, and like we just need to filter through the noise and come up with our own conclusion. And the conclusion, hopefully, is that diversity is more valuable than differences.
I mean, Singlish came from how we just communicated and how I say something and then you understood even though it's incorrect, and that some of us may feel ashamed because other people don't understand us, right? And that's how some of us develop code switching, right? But in our pursuit to be understood globally, do you think we're losing our local voice? Like, what if one day all of us just, you know what, Singlish is so embarrassing. Let's not speak Singlish anymore. And just
There will never be that day, I can tell you that. There will never be that day because we are all very different people. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different experiences. And there's no way a collective 6 point something million Singaporeans will be like, I'm going to yeet Singlish and I'm going to just sound American now.
Yeah, but I think progressively, right, there are more people who are code switching a lot as compared to years ago. I'm not sure if that stemmed from because we feel paiseh about speaking Singlish or, we just want to sound professionally okay to other people.
Yeah, I think more that. I can't say for sure that one is more correct than the other. Because there's enough people in the world for a percentage of people to want this and another percentage of people to want that, right? And it will always be the case. For me personally, it was absolutely because like I use my voice for a living, I speak for a living. And we speak English and everybody just asks you to speak proper English because then more people will understand. But like when I'm home, I want to Singlish like crazy because it is fun. It is our secret language. Nobody else knows. In fact, my whole community, Pointy Rice, is because of that. Because Singapore is packaged so nicely for the tourists. I wanted to bring the fun into Cai Fan, right? Which is the most unappreciated meal. Right? So I want it to be hyper Singaporean.
As you know, I freaking love Cai Fan.
Right?
Number one fan.
Right?
Yeah.
But you know, as a person who's doing this as a business, right? You see, it's only Cai Fan, what? You want to say we eat nasi lemak? That one Malaysia's national dish. Cai Fan is what we eat. In different cultures, Cai Fan looks different.
Yeah.
Right? Like think about, I always tell people to think about that. And that is, if we connect what you said about food and language, that is the tradition. Singlish is the identity. But we can always recreate ourselves for the benefit of other people. Reframe your thinking, right? So this Angmo asked me in LA, oh, why don't you have an accent? You're not from here. And I said, oh, I speak like this for your benefit.
Really? You said that?
I did. And they're like, what do you usually sound like? You wouldn't understand. Because they weren't being very like nice about it. But having said that, not everyone's like that.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, like condescending and stuff, right? But like, it's a funny thing to tell people, like to remind them that I sound like you because otherwise you will not understand.
Yeah. Speaking of code switching, right, I just want to share like a personal story.
Yes,
I just
please.
suddenly remembered.
Yes.
So I have a problem. My problem is I cannot not code switch with someone with a different accent. It's very difficult for me. Like what you say, I want to be understood.
Yeah.
Right? I think many Singaporeans feel that way also because I've seen a lot of content online that reflects the same story. So for example, if I'm speaking to an American friend, I don't have an American accent or whatever, but I'm just going to speak proper, right?
Better sentence structure, you mean?
Correct.
More accurate.
A more correcter, I
More
think.
correcter.
Yeah, so but when I'm with my Singaporean friends or like if they hear me speak like that, right? Oh, Sherms, why are you so pretentious? You Singaporean what? Why cannot speak Singlish? At that time I was young also, like I feel attacked. So I struggle with that and I hear that a lot of my friends, they always make fun of people. Oh, you go overseas 2 weeks, come back, got accent. You know what I'm saying? I am not saying that I'm going to have an accent with you. You are Singaporean, I'm going to speak Singlish with you lah, right? But when I'm speaking with my Australian friends, you know, my American friends, then I'll just speak different.
You suddenly good eye, mate.
No lah, I don't have accent. Yeah, but yeah, it's more proper.
I think also maybe last time back then, government trying to push speak better English. Because we're trying to connect everybody's different races with the one unified language.
And
right?
is that why some Singaporeans start policing accents?
Yes, which I think is so ridiculous because like, excuse me, unless you have perfect grammar, even I don't have perfect grammar. I sometimes say is instead of are, okay? But like,
Oh, I do it all the time.
yeah, like, I mean, like it just comes out my mouth. Then I'm like, oh, yeah, never mind. I already record, just upload. You know what I mean? Like, I leave the mistakes in so that you can see you don't have to be perfect, even though this is what you do for a living, because there will be a script somewhere for me. Right? As long as I can communicate effectively to the people I'm speaking to, that's my job. I also kena when I'm growing up. Like, I think a lot of people that speak like us will have experienced this at least once in their life. Like,
Yeah, how did that play out for you as a young...
Same more, like that. Wow, why you sound so amo? Like, they judge you straight away, right? But I to that, I say, like, you're going to find your tribe, right? Like, right now, you feel seen because I'm the same, right?
Yeah.
And it's not about saying this makes you less Singaporean. Is about saying, look how many kinds of Singaporeans there are.
Oh, here.
But yes, I mean, I did experience this growing up. In fact, overseas as well. I experienced it less overseas actually. They just ask me where I'm from, which is also the reason why I code switch. Because sometimes you're ordering a cup of coffee and you don't want to ask. You don't want anyone to ask you where you're from so you can get that coffee and get out of there.
Because when I was younger, when I had these kind of comments, right,
Yeah.
I didn't react how you reacted. I was hurt and I kind of got into like, okay.
No, I'm sure it must be so hard. I mean, I also questioned my identity and questioned why I was like that also.
Yeah, and in fact, I learned to incorporate more Singlish in my speech. just so that I don't get bullied.
So now you're able to represent people like us, right?
Yeah.
People who are, or maybe kids who are growing up, who are also as diverse as you and I and everyone else who's Singlish or English tokong, right? They can look at us because they're social media and they can say, actually, I sound like this and this tete also sound like this, so I think it's okay.
Come on.
Yeah,
So many types of Singaporeans.
don't let people judge who you are or who you choose to be, you know.
I remember on the call you said you were working at the MNC and then she can speak the Chinese accent, like the Beijing accent or something.
She did it just now, you know.
Oh, really?
Before
I
we
didn't catch-
rolled, right?
I
Did we
didn't
roll
catch-
already that
This is
time?
very unconscious. I
it's so
should.
cool.
This is like our version of when we code switch to Amor. She code switch to Chinese.
Yeah, but so good.
I mean, all this I should definitely thank my teachers. Okay, I was very blessed. My Chinese teacher, she speak like Beijing, so she taught us honey pinging and whatnot. So we need to speak very, very well.
Demo?
I need to have someone to speak the language, then I mirror.
嗨，我是哦，
你们好吗？
其实呢，
Is
去
it
哪
Taiwan?
儿？去哪儿？
去哪儿？
去哪儿？
Because they pronounce the
so
你想做啥？
okay, pardon me if I did not pronounce it correctly.
Correct.
But when I speak to them, I try to mirror. Okay, so I tend to listen and try to mirror the accent. All right.
so they understand better.
They understand better.
Also, right?
Yeah.
I mean-
I can't don't mirror.
I mean, mirroring is always a way of connecting as well. To make another party understand, I think that's more important than to be very conscious of what you are speaking.
It's also a very known communication tactic as well for relatability or to make people feel comfortable.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, comfortable is something which is very important. I mean, if you make people at ease, you are able to connect, you can build trust. That's where people will open up. I mean, that is very important.
Yeah, accent or not, it's all about whether we can connect.
I mean, these are
And
all
also don't be
mindset,
judgmental of what
Yeah.
people choose to say lah.
yeah, lor, please, please.
Please lah. We are all kaki lang.
This morning on the way to the studio, right, I also tapao cai fan. So I tapao cai fan.
Oh my god. Hey,
So,
actually, I
and,
got Cai fan for everyone. Can we take, please?
Yeah, later we take. But anyways, this one, right, is by a friend.
Oh my god.
It's her pointy rice that you mentioned a couple of times just now.
You went, oh yeah, of course, yeah, we did that thing with your, with the, okay, got
So
it.
this is
I remember now.
her project,
Sure.
the baby. My friend got this for me and she was so excited choosing the ingredients, right? She forgot about the rice.
Oh,
So
don't worry, I got
have
you.
I only have the egg and the gravy and the tofu. Can you walk us through the inspiration behind this adorable little thing?
So this is Pointy Rice, and Pointy Rice is my baby. It's a community, it's not a business. So basically, I started this because I was overseas and I missed Cai fan. And to know how unique this is to us, you must go and Google Map search if you've got a restaurant selling Cai fan, right? And don't have. The closest one is a Panda Express, and it was so bad. So anyway, I missed Cai fan, and so I started drawing things. The first thing I drew was the fried tofu with mincemeat on top.
The one that you miss the most?
I suddenly, I don't know why. You cannot get this, right? You cannot get this. You can get meat cutlet, you can get this one, you can make, you know, but like, and then I also at some point when I was living in the US, I made my own egg tofu, apparently easier than you think. But then we have it available at $1.10 at fair price. So like, why wouldn't you go and get that here, right? So it's all these little things that I missed that I realized, actually, this is the stuff I grew up eating. Then I went online to look for merch because I miss it so I can bring it along with me, and I realized it didn't exist, so I created it.
Okay.
Yeah, so now everybody can play. We always say we want to put the fun in Cai fan, and then we put the dang in nasi padang.
But dang.
It's damn cringe, but like that's what makes it funny. So it
Yeah.
has to be funny. It has to have a little light sense of humor. You know, I want to make it fun for us to remember why it's fun to be Singaporean.
Yeah, this reminds me of like when I was younger, you know, those little sticker girls, then you dress her up, then you just stack all the
So
the
cute.
dresses.
Yeah. The fun thing about being on this journey, right, is that nobody thinks to do these things because they are so run of the mill. They think I cannot make money from this, and so if I cannot scale it, if it's not saleable, if I cannot be a millionaire from it, I won't do it. But that's the thing. I just want us to have fun. To me, Cai fan is the most important food in Singapore. It's always the longest queue at the hawker centre.
The fastest queue.
And
also.
the fastest, the longest, the easiest to pick vegetables and meat. Every day is different. You cannot eat laksa every day, nasi lemak every day, but you can eat cai fan or nasi padang every day. Because every day can be a different option. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Before we end the episode, right, this podcast is called Pause and Listen. So what is something that made you pause and listen?
One thing that made me pause and listen is when a resident told me that just speaking to them in their mother tongue, they feel at ease, they feel at home. So what really strikes me and make me think is that you do not need a big action, a single word, or even just a smile that make a difference, and you will be able to break the ice. Thank you.
Cute.
So cute.
Okay, come, Cait.
I really love listening. I really love pausing and listening to people's stories because it gives me a slice of their life that I will never otherwise hear about from media or anything else really. Whether that's in person or social media, you know, when people share vulnerably their life story, things that they grew up experiencing, it gives me opportunity to widen my perspective of the world, see where I stand in that world as a human being, as a Singaporean, as a person. And also, it shows me that diversity is to be celebrated. And to link back to what you said, all it does take is hi, right? In whatever language that may be. All it takes is hello.
Thank you guys for sharing your stories today, and I really appreciate some of the personal stories that you guys brought up. And thank you for our listeners for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.